For 84 days, an old fisherman named Santiago went out to sea alone. He caught no fish. For the first 40 days, a young boy named Manolin was with him. But after 40 days with no fish, the boy's parents said the old man was the unluckiest fisherman in the world. They told the boy to go on a different boat. That boat caught 3 good fish in the first week. The boy felt sad to leave the old man, but he did what his parents said. The boy liked the old man. Every night, the old man came back to his small, poor house. His sail was old and full of patches. It looked like a flag of defeat. The old man was thin and had deep lines on his neck. His face had brown spots from the sun. His hands had deep cuts from pulling on heavy fish. But these cuts were old. Everything about him was old, except his eyes. His eyes were the color of the sea. They were happy and never gave up. The old man's house was made of palm leaves. Inside, there was a bed, a table, and 1 chair. On the walls, there were 2 pictures. One was of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The other was of the Virgin of Cabra. These were from his wife, who died many years ago. He used to have her picture on the wall, but he took it down. Looking at it made him feel lonely. He kept it on a shelf in the corner with a clean cloth over it. The boy loved the old man. Every morning, the boy came to the house to help carry the old man's things. They walked together to the sea. The boy brought food for the old man, usually some rice and fish. The old man did not say much about it. They often talked about baseball. They talked about the great player Joe DiMaggio. The old man liked DiMaggio because his father was a fisherman too. The old man thought DiMaggio understood a fisherman's life. They also talked about the sea. The old man called the sea La Mar, which is a girl's name in Spanish. He thought of the sea as a kind woman. Sometimes she gave nice things. Sometimes she did not. He thought other fishermen called the sea El Mar, a boy's name. They talked about the sea like it was a place to fight. On the 84th night, the boy brought dinner to the old man. They sat together in the house. The boy asked what the old man would eat. The old man said he would eat rice and fish. The boy said he could get more food from Martin, the owner of the restaurant. The old man said yes. After eating, they talked about baseball again. The boy talked about the Yankees and DiMaggio. The old man said he wanted to take DiMaggio fishing one day. He thought DiMaggio was a good man. He also talked about other players, like Dick Sisler and the brothers on the Detroit team. The boy knew all the numbers. They both knew a lot about baseball. They talked about their plans for the next day. The boy wanted to go with the old man. He wanted to help him catch a fish. But the old man said no. He said the boy should stay on the lucky boat. He said luck could change. He said he would go far out into the sea the next day to find fish. The boy gave him 4 fresh baits. He got them from another fisherman. The old man said thank you. He felt the boy's love, and it made him feel better. The boy left the house. The old man went to sleep on his bed. He did not use a light. He lay down and put a blanket over himself. He dreamed of Africa. He had been there when he was young. He dreamed of long golden beaches and big lions that came to the shore at night. He did not dream of storms or women or big events. He only dreamed of the lions. He saw them playing on the sand like young cats. He loved them like he loved the boy. He never dreamed of the boy. Before the sun came up on the 85th day, the old man left the shore. The boy helped him carry his things to the boat. They said goodbye. The boy wished him luck. The old man rowed out past the shallow water. He heard the flying fish jump out of the water. He felt the dark sea move. He rowed slowly and carefully. He did not want to waste his energy. He knew the sea could be hard on those who wasted their strength. He went far out, past the other fishermen. He thought big fish lived in deep water, far from the shore. He set his lines carefully. He put them at different depths. One line went down 40 fathoms. One went down 75. One went down 100. He also had lines at 125 and 150 fathoms. He used sardines for bait. He covered each hook carefully so it smelled natural. He worked like a good craftsman. He wanted every bait to be perfect. He let each line go straight down so the bait was at the right depth. The sun came up. He saw the other boats near the shore. They looked small and far away. He was alone on the big sea. He watched a bird fly above his boat. He saw the bird dive. He rowed toward the bird. He found some small fish, but they were too fast for his lines. He did not lose hope. He kept watching his lines. He put his hand on the line and felt for any move. He knew a big fish could come at any time. At noon, something happened. The old man was watching one of his lines. It was a green stick that went deep into the water. Suddenly, the stick moved down. The line went down. He knew a fish was taking the bait. He held the line with his thumb and finger. He felt a heavy pull. The fish was not just playing with the bait. It was taking it fully. He let the line go through his fingers. He wanted the fish to take the bait all the way before he pulled the hook. The fish was big. The old man felt the weight. He knew it was not a small fish. He let the line go through his fingers slowly. The fish moved steadily. It started to pull the boat. The old man could not pull it up. He held the line tight with his back and hands. He knew if he pulled too hard, the hook would come out of the fish's mouth. So he let the fish pull the boat. He would hold on until the fish got tired. The fish pulled the boat slowly. The old man was alone on the big sea. A giant fish he could not see was pulling his boat. He held the line across his back and shoulders. The line was so tight it cut into his skin. He felt the pressure on his back. His left hand began to cramp. He was angry at his hand. He opened it and looked at it. He called it a traitor. He pressed his hand against the line to open his fingers. He thought about how his hand used to be strong. He remembered the arm wrestling match with a big man from Cienfuegos. The match lasted a whole day and night. Their fingers bled. In the end, the old man pushed the man's hand down. After that, people called him the champion. He thought if he could do that, he could do this. He thought about the fish. He saw it in his mind, swimming deep under the water. It was big and strong. Its mouth was closed on the bait. He respected the fish. He started to call it his brother. He thought it was wonderful that such a big fish lived in the sea. He decided he would stay with the fish until it died. He told himself he was not the one being pulled. He said, "The fish is my friend. But I must kill him." He felt sorry for the fish, but he knew what he had to do. The sun went down. The fish kept pulling the boat away from land. The old man could no longer see the green of the shore. He was far out in the dark sea. He held the line all night. He pushed his back against the front of the boat. He let the fish pull. He felt the pain in his back and his hands. He thought about baseball. He thought about DiMaggio. He wondered if DiMaggio would stay with a fish this long. He thought DiMaggio would, because he was a great player. The sun came up again. The fish was still pulling. The old man's hands were bleeding from the line. He ate some raw fish to get energy. He caught a tuna on one of his lines. He cut it into pieces and chewed it slowly. He was tired and in pain, but he did not give up. He looked at his bleeding hands. He thought pain was not important. He said to himself, "Pain is nothing to a man." He also thought about the boy. He wished the boy was with him. He knew the boy could help. The boy could wet the lines to make them easier to hold. He could bring him water and food. But the boy was not there. He was alone. He accepted this. He told himself a man is never alone at sea. He looked at the sky and the water. He felt the sea around him. The fish started to circle. The old man's whole body was in pain. He pulled on the line with all his strength. He could see the fish now. It was huge. It was longer than the boat. It was a beautiful marlin. It had a long bill like a sword. Its back was dark purple. Its sides were silver. Its big side fins spread out wide against the blue water. It was the biggest fish the old man had ever seen. He had seen many big fish in his life, but none this big. The fight became a test of who would give up first. The fish circled the boat. The old man pulled the line in, hand over hand, when the fish came close. The fish would then pull away, and the line would burn the old man's hands. He fought the fish for hours. His strength was leaving him. He felt dizzy. He saw black spots in front of his eyes. He felt like he might pass out. But he kept thinking, "I will fight him until I die." He thought about DiMaggio again. He wondered how DiMaggio would deal with the pain. He thought about the bone in the player's heel. He told himself he had no bone problem. He said, "Pain does not matter to a man." He kept pulling on the line. He made his body keep working. Finally, after a long fight, the fish came to the top of the water. It circled close to the boat. The old man took all his remaining strength and pain. He pulled the line tight. He lifted the harpoon high. He pushed it into the fish's side. He felt the iron go in deep. The fish jumped into the air. It showed all its great size and beauty. It seemed to hang in the sky for a moment. Its body was perfect and shining. Then it fell into the sea with a crash. It was dead. The old man tied the fish to the side of his boat. He was tired but happy. He had won. He looked at the fish. It was 2 feet longer than his boat. He thought about the money he would get for the meat. He thought about the people who would eat it. He put up his sail and started to go home. He looked back at the fish often. He could not believe how big it was. The old man sailed toward home. He had his prize, the great marlin. He felt proud and happy. He looked at the fish often. It was so big it looked like a second boat tied to his. The wind was good. He thought about his trip. He knew he had gone far out. He guessed where he was and set his course. He thought about the fish again. He called it his brother. He thought about how they had fought each other. He felt respect for the fish. An hour later, he saw the first shark. It was a mako shark. It came up from the deep sea. It smelled the blood of the marlin. The blood was spreading in the water. The old man knew the shark was dangerous. He got his harpoon ready. He knew the shark was strong and fast. Its teeth were sharp. Its eyes were different from the marlin's eyes. The shark came up to attack the marlin. The old man killed it with the harpoon. He pushed the harpoon into the shark's head. The shark sank, but it took the harpoon with it. The shark also took about 40 pounds of the marlin's meat. The great fish now had a cut. The old man was angry but not beaten. He said to himself, "A man can be destroyed but not defeated." He knew more sharks would come. The marlin's blood would spread in the water and bring them. He looked at the dead shark. It was a beautiful animal, strong and fast. He felt sorry for the shark too. He made a new weapon. He tied his knife to the end of an oar. He sharpened the knife on the side of the boat. He got ready for the next attack. Soon, 2 sharks came. They were not as beautiful as the first one. They were ugly animals with flat heads and greedy eyes. They attacked the marlin. The old man fought them with his new weapon. He killed one. He pushed the knife into the shark's eye. The shark sank. The other shark attacked. The old man fought it. He cut the shark, but the knife blade broke. The shark got away. It took more meat from the fish. Now the old man had no knife. When the next shark came, the old man fought it with a club. He had a heavy club in the bottom of the boat. The shark was big and mean. The old man hit it many times. He hit it on the head. He hit it until the shark turned away. He knew more sharks would come in a group soon. He was tired. His hands were bleeding again. His shoulders hurt. His back was sore from holding the line for so many hours. When the group of sharks came, he fought them with his club. They came at night. He could see them in the dark water. They attacked the marlin from all sides. He hit them on their heads. He swung the club with all his strength. The sharks did not stop. They tore at the marlin. The club was pulled from his hands. He took the tiller from the boat and used that to fight. He swung it at the sharks. He hit them until the tiller broke. He was very tired. He knew the fight was useless. The sharks kept coming. They ate most of the marlin. The old man could see the skeleton of the fish now. The big head was still there, with the long bill. The backbone was white and long. The tail was still there. But the meat was gone. He stopped fighting. He knew he was beaten. He guided his boat toward home. He carried the skeleton of the great fish he had caught. The old man sailed through the night. He was alone on the dark sea. The skeleton of his fish was tied to the boat. He was very tired. He felt like he had failed. The sharks had taken everything he worked for. The great fish that had been his brother was gone. Only the skeleton was left. He wondered if he had gone too far out. He thought about luck. He said to himself that luck was a strange thing. It came in many forms. He had tried to buy it with his pain, but it did not work. He came to the small harbor late at night. The lights of the town were off. He had to land in the dark. He cut the fish loose from the boat. He looked at the long white skeleton in the water. He pulled his boat up on the shore. He was so tired he could barely walk. He climbed the hill to his house. He sat down on the bed. He put his hands behind his head and lay down. He fell asleep. The next morning, a group of fishermen gathered around the old man's boat. They measured the skeleton of the marlin. It was 18 feet long. They had never seen such a big fish. They stood and looked at the big bones tied to the boat. One fisherman said he would not want to fight a fish like that. Another fisherman said the old man had been through a hard time. They all respected what the old man had done. The boy, Manolin, came to the house. He saw the old man sleeping. He saw the deep cuts on the old man's hands. The boy started to cry. He went to get coffee for the old man. He walked to the restaurant. The owner, Martin, gave him the coffee for free. The boy went back to the house. He sat and waited for the old man to wake up. When the old man woke up, he did not move at first. He lay on the bed. The boy sat next to him. He gave him the coffee. The old man drank it. He was weak but calm. The boy told the old man he did not care what his parents said. He would work with the old man again. He said they would go out together. The boy said there was much the old man could still teach him. The old man told the boy how the sharks came and destroyed the fish. He said they beat him. He said he was not lucky anymore. The boy said, "They did not beat you. The fish did not beat you." They talked about getting new things. They talked about a new spear and a new knife. They talked about a new harpoon. The boy said he would get everything ready. He said they would go out to sea again. He said he would bring fresh baits. He said they would be ready for the next trip. The boy brought the old man some food. He left the old man sleeping. The old man lay on his bed, dreaming. He did not dream of storms or women or big events. He dreamed of the lions. He saw them on the golden beaches of Africa. He saw them playing in the evening. He saw them as he had seen them when he was a young sailor on a ship. He dreamed of the lions. He saw them come to the shore at dusk. He saw them playing like young cats. He felt happy in his dream. Later that morning, tourists came to the shore. They walked along the water. They saw the long white skeleton of the marlin lying in the seaweed. They did not know what it was. They asked a waiter who worked nearby. The waiter pointed to the big backbone and the long tail. He said a shark did that. The tourists did not understand. One of them, a woman, said she did not know sharks had such beautiful tails. She thought it was sad that the tail was destroyed. The old man was still sleeping in his house. The boy sat next to him, watching over him. He looked at the old man's hands. He saw the cuts and the scars. He brought a blanket and covered the old man. The old man was dreaming of the lions. He did not hear the tourists or the fishermen. He was far away, on the coast of Africa, watching the lions play on the sand. He was happy there, in his dream, with the lions he had loved since he was a young man.